Do you ever find yourself being late for appointments or struggle to meet deadlines? Or maybe even if you have a meeting with somebody, you show up late, even 1 or 2 minutes late. Or maybe you're frustrated that somebody else shows up late to a meeting. How can you solve this problem? Because being on time for even more informal meetings or arrangements with people can have an effect on your life. Even meeting somebody for coffee, a friend, a colleague, at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. If you show up at 4:10, that person for 10 minutes is going to be sitting there waiting for you, and each minute that goes by is going to be a message that you did not take them seriously. You did not take their attention seriously or value them, and it may have an effect that could be something you never realize happened. Maybe you don't have an opportunity with that person. Maybe it's a business opportunity. How can you solve that? Well, what we recommend, every meeting, appointment, schedule you have, plan it the same way you plan for an air travel. I guarantee you, if you had an airplane trip scheduled that the flight left at 3:40 in the afternoon, you wouldn't plan on getting there at 3:40. You would plan way ahead. You would backfill your day. You would say, well, it takes me, I want to get there an hour early to get through TSA, so I'm going to get there at 2:40. It takes me an hour to get to the airport. I'm going to leave at 1:40. Maybe I want to plan a little extra for delays, so I'm going to leave at 1 o'clock. If you did the same thing for a small, seemingly less important meeting, you'd never be late. Because you're going to make sure you're on time for that airplane, because they're not going to wait for you. And it's important for you to get where you're getting want to get to. You're not doing it for the airline. You're not doing it to do the airport a favor. You're doing it because you want to get to where you want to go, and they're not going to wait for you. Use the same amount of courtesy for anybody you're meeting. If it's a business meeting, even 1 minute late or 2 minutes late sends a message to that person that you couldn't do something just to be 2 minutes earlier. Whatever it was made them wait for 2 minutes. We do a lot of Zoom calls and appointments, and if it's scheduled for 3 o'clock and we see 3:01 click over on the meeting, that tells me that whatever that other person was doing before was more important for that 1 minute. And it may seem like a small thing, but it just means that it was an afterthought, whatever had happened before. Even a personal relationship, meeting somebody for coffee, going to the movies, picking somebody up, being that person that is always there exactly on time sends a message that you're reliable and dependable. And who knows what opportunities that might open up. A closer relationship with that person, a closer friendship, more trust. Maybe they do something more advanced with you than they would with somebody else that they can't count on. Maybe they take more risks with you because they know you're going to be dependable. You don't know where that trustworthiness will benefit you. Now, certainly, there's going to be things that come up that are unavoidable, that make you late. Traffic. Could be a last-minute phone call, an emergency. Those can happen. But if you think they're going to happen a lot, then plan for that in your schedule. If you think every single time you drive somewhere you might be 15 minutes late because of traffic, leave 15 minutes early. If you think that when you go on a Zoom call there might be a problem with your computer or your camera or your microphone, well, start getting ready for the Zoom call 10 or 15 minutes early to test those things out. If you think you might get a phone call before a meeting, get ready for it earlier so that you can have that extra time and space. One of the metaphors or slogans you can use is, if you're not early, you're late. Because if you plan on being there right on time, any one little thing that comes up will push you late. And you might not think a minute or two late is a big deal, but for the person waiting for you, it's excruciating. If I stopped talking in this video for even 1 minute and just sat here and stared at the screen, you would leave. Because there's nothing for you to be doing for that minute. If you were forced to watch a video for a minute with me just sitting here and not talking, it would be painful because you'd have to be wasting your time. A minute is a long time. 2 minutes is even longer. So be proactive. Don't do it for the other person. Do it for yourself. Because the benefits of relating to the other person, whether it's a personal relationship, business relationship, even romantic relationship, or even just practical, even if you're doing business with somebody as a consumer, being there on time will get you benefits. Plus, it won't push the rest of your schedule later. If that call is supposed to take 45 minutes, you start at 3 minutes late, either you have to do less on that call or push that call later, which then affects the next person that you have to deal with. It'll also help your discipline and preparation for all things in your life. If you had planned on just going to get ice cream by yourself at 2 o'clock, it gets you in the habit of doing those things at the same time. Does it seem extreme? Certainly. Do you have to listen to this? No. Do whatever you want. Be late if you want. Sometimes you're going to do it just because you feel like it. But the more that you can do these things, the more benefits you have. A lot of times you look at people that are successful and you think, well, they're lucky. I do the same thing they do, but man, they got lucky. These are the little details that turn normal everyday activities and efforts and pursuits into good luck. The good luck happens because of these things. It may not always turn into good luck. You don't know which times that you were very precise on the minute created something big, but it only takes 1 out of 10 or 2 out of 10 of those times that you really focus on being there on time to be something extraordinary that will help you. Look at every appointment like an airplane ride. Be on time just like you would be for an airplane. Take it as seriously as an airplane ride. And good things will happen in the long run. Put your comments below. Let us know what you think. You want to get to the point where the people you talk to and you plan on saying, I'm going to call you at 2 o'clock, when you call exactly at 2:00 on the clock, after a while, when you call them, they say, yeah, of course it's you at 2 o'clock. Like, you become the exception, because I can guarantee you that 90% of the other people that they talk to every single day calls them at 2:02, 2:04, 2:05. Sometimes people think that anything that begins with a 2 is still on time. 2:10 is the same as 2 o'clock. And many people get used to that, and they're okay with it. If you're the one who is always precisely on the moment, you will stand out above the crowd because everybody else is doing it. And that may be an excuse people use. Well, everybody else calls late, so I'll call late too. Great, you can be like everybody else. If you call exactly on the dot, you are going to stand out above the crowd. And how hard is it to call 3 minutes earlier than you normally would? Instead of calling at 2:04, you call at 2. For that 4-minute investment of time, of discipline, you now are the 1% of exceptional relations with that person, with that company, with that colleague, with that boyfriend, girlfriend, or business partner. It's a easy thing to do if you plan ahead and you're looking ahead, and it can put you in a position of admiration with others because you're the one that always calls, shows up, messages, Facebook, video call exactly on the dot. And people are going to say, who does that? Nobody does that. You're the only one that does it. You want to be a person that people say are the only one that does something, because that makes you exceptional. Let us know what you think.